show you guys that Ocarina of Time mod we were talking about yesterday. Sweet music too. Let's go ahead a bit. So here's Gerudo Valley reimagined. So ahead there, you can see the waviness. They're using a post-processing volume to create the sense of heat, the heat illusion. Oh no, it's Navi. Stay away. See what happens. So you can see how much of a difference. I won't play the old one, but how much of a difference the effects that you can do in Unreal can make. A lot of things like ambient occlusion make all the difference in creating a world that looks very much more realistic. So first of all, I need you guys to grab a file off of Dropbox real quick. So I'm just going to share this guy. This is the link here. I don't know if there's a better way to show you guys. Can we zoom that in a bit? You
can also do tiny URL if you want.
Yeah, we can do that. Can you guys at the back sort of see that?
You're not type paste it onto the actual Word document?
Yeah, let's do that. Good idea. Oh, maybe that's too big. You guys see that? I hope. So just grab that. It's a second version of the map, and just got some small changes we're going to use today. So we'll just do a quick review. We're just going to do the spawning of Juno again real quick, and then we'll get into some new stuff, and we're going to get a lot of stuff done today.
We can't find what to look.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Okay, where's my mistake?
Sorry, oh, do you need a mouse?
Oh, I'm good. I got that. I got that. Oh, let's send you away.
Troubleshoot, where did you go wrong? What did you forget?
This is the first test.
I got it right away. Well, okay, I clicked it.
The girl in the back there was just sitting.
You can just grab it on the USB.
The last two computers she was
That's not
on
working.
didn't have Unreal installed. And she
Maybe you can pass that around if other people need
I
it.
have no internet. And well,
Give you some more time to download that.
Okay, so you want to go to the Epic Games Launcher?
Yeah, I'll show you where to place it, and then we'll open it. Okay. Yeah. So he's got it right now, and then we'll pass it around. Yeah, download it, please. And I'll show you where we're gonna put the file in a second here. Second here, guys. Anyone having trouble downloading it? Put your hands up if you are. Open what? Oh, you don't have to open it. Just see it. Just see it. See it. You guys are having trouble downloading? It's on this USB here. Just use that instead. Launch this happens.
Yes, download. Don't open it, download. Yeah,
There's no plug over there?
We had watched this. Yeah, this one works.
Yeah, no internet. So try using this guy.
Listen up, folks. If you have a book bag in here, could you please put it underneath your desk?
What's on the back here?
Yeah, just so, because it's dark in here and I tend not to look at my feet, and I'll trip over top of it when I have a face versus the cinder block wall. It's all.
There's no error. No, he just installed it.
I doubt it. It seems like it's an actual driver issue, you know. So, those ones might not work. You might have to have them share. Yeah. Okay, there's some USBs going around with the file if you have trouble downloading. But until then, if you've got the file already, we've got to place it in our maps folder. So what I want you to do is go to the folder, the Sysler folder, and find your battle folder. You know, open that up. We'll go to content. We'll go to maps. And that's where you're going to drop Battle for Valor 02. Okay, and you're going to copy over the other version that's there. Okay, so that's battle, content, maps, and then copy over Battle for Valor 2 with the new version. Yeah, copy over, yeah. Yeah, replace the old file.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing the sound that was coming in the back. It picks up so much. Yeah, so I'm sending a video again. Yeah, great. Great. Just ignore me.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
you guys want to be in order first? Thumbs up, guys.
Okay, guys. So some people are still working on that, but let's review how to open the Unreal Editor and get things going. So you want to open up the Epic Games launcher. Okay, and you'll see something like this. Okay, so if it's your first time launching the program, you might not see it in the listings down here in my projects. So let's just do it the old-fashioned way. We're going to launch 4.11. Okay, and I'm going to go down once the project browser opens up. I'm going to go to Browse. I'm going to go find. Oh, that might be a problem. Battle 411, right? Okay, so with that map file, we might have put that in the wrong folder because I forgot that there's 2 battle versions now. So let's go back and make sure we have this map in the right spot. So if you guys want to find your, go back to your Sysler folder, maybe it's still open, and you want to find Battle 411, not just Battle. If you don't have 411, then that's totally fine. Then you put the map in the right place. But we need that map in Battle 411 folder. Okay. There'll be Battle and there'll be Battle 411. If you don't have 411, that's totally fine. Then just put it in the standard Battle folder.
Put it in the battle 411.
Yeah. So let's. No, you want to put it in content and then maps. Okay.
One of them. That might be a way to find one, someone like a repair tool or something. Maybe. Do you have a thumb drive with the map on it somewhere?
Map. I gave a couple to those guys, so the ones that they have the map on it.
It's just like in a separate folder, or it's put in the right place?
It's right on the top of the drive, so it'll be the first in the first thing. Okay, so once that's in, let's open up that project. So again, we're going to launch 411. If it's already open, that's cool. We're going to go to Browse. And then we're going to go to the Battle 411 folder, or just the Battle folder if you don't have 411. And you're going to open up the Quest file. It's got the little Unreal symbol beside it. Okay. Oh, that's first file. Okay, who is able to get Unreal open? Is everything working now? Okay, good stuff. So now the trick is, if you look up at the top, you'll see that we've still got Battle for Valor 01 open. So we want to open up that second version of the map. So we're going to go to our content browser, which might be on a separate tab or it might be at the bottom, depending on how your layout is set up. We're going to go to the maps folder. Okay, and you want to open up Battle for Valor 02. You can just double click it to open. There'll be some error messages, that's okay.
You move the new project, you move the project onto the laptop, right? That should have a folder called
That was me for next month.
So how did you guys get it to launch? Yeah. It's the vengeance.
Yeah, so it looks like a lot of people ended up with the old version anyways. So what we need to do is we're going to delete all of the monster guys that you see. So if you see the monster guys, just select them and get rid of them. We're gonna add those in separately. Yeah, delete all of those monsters. We're gonna create our own. And if you remember, it's just you just left click on them to highlight them, and then the delete key on your keyboard. Delete. Bad start. We those monsters from the arena. Okay. And then there's a couple other things we need to delete. So if you look at the doorway, there'll be a green outline box around it. So if you guys can delete that. And then if you go into the room that we started in, there'll be a green box above the steps. We just want to delete that too. If you delete the wrong thing, there's an undo. Just with Control Z. Okay, so now let's go and we're going to review how to respawn Juno again. So if you remember, we go up to the blueprints button up at the top here. We're going to click the arrow beside it and we're going to choose open level blueprint. And opening the level blueprint should show you a bunch of, there'll probably be a bunch of code there with Juno and everything. I don't know if you guys see that. So what I want you guys to do is zoom out a bit. Let's just see. Okay, worse than I thought. Okay, guys. Okay, so we got the blueprint, level blueprint open. We'll do what we can. Okay, you guys will see some code there. You'll be in there. What I want you to do is across the top, there's going to be a bunch of tabs here. Okay. I want you to select the one that's called Event Graph. Okay. So if you zoom out a bit with the middle mouse, I want you to select that the tall column of code. And we're going to delete all that. Yeah, so you can drag select across it. And then just the delete key. Okay. Yeah, in O2. Just that first yeah, you just right.
My mouse is glitching on it starts spinning.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that one. Okay. So that part's okay. You just gotta go to the
Is he like
for that. Just that one. So that the one that says exit intro cinematic, ignore. We're just gonna leave that one there, okay? Okay, awesome, guys. How we doing? No? Okay. Okay. That's cool. So open up the U one here. Yeah, okay. Okay, so what you want to do is go to projects. Browse. Okay, now we need to find where you guys put the battle. Where you guys get it to. No, just that first
copy that we got over. It was a folder that said Sysler. Oh, it's on the speaker. Okay, so we need to actually copy that onto the computer science.
Did you just see my cursor just fly? I saw your hand like that.
Well, why don't just use the
I saw your hand not like that. So
that yeah, just put it there for the bench. It'll take a little while to copy that. Should be okay. Okay.
Okay, guys.
yeah, I saw your hand.
So we're quickly gonna get Juno back. Okay. So if you guys remember, we need a triggering event to begin with, and what we're going to use is begin play. Okay. So I'm going to right click. Remember, that's how we get our toolbox. We get our set of functions we can use, and I'm going to type in event begin play, and I'll select that. Begin play. And what this does is when the map launches, any code that's attached to it is going to fire, okay? So remember how this works? We drag from the pin here. We drag out a wire and let it go. It allows us to add new code, okay? What we're going to add is spawn actor. And we're going to choose this one, spawn actor from class. Okay, that's our first function we're going to call. And this is what we're going to use to spawn Juno into the world. Okay. Next up, we're going to, in the purple column here, we're going to choose Juno as our class. Okay, so what I'm going to do is select the Dropbox here, drop-down list. I'm going to type in Juno. And we'll get the one option, Quest Character Juno.
His USB reader doesn't work, so he's gonna need the Dropbox link.
Okay.
For just a second.
Yeah. All right. One sec, guys. One person needs the file still. Yeah, they have to delete the characters and the script.
Projects, I assume? They need the full
Yeah, the full project. Okay. Okay.
I think people are like pulling out without the fix.
Oh, are they losing? Okay. Okay. Let's keep rolling here. So we put in our quest character Juno in the class. And now remember, we need to know where to spawn her. So I'm just going to minimize my blueprint for a second. I'm going to go into the map. The map controls, remember I use right click to rotate around, left click to move forward and back, and both together to go up and down. Okay. What I want to do is I want to select the spawn point here. It's a little controller with the flag. I'm going to highlight that. And remember, when we have something highlighted, it allows us to add it to our blueprint. So what I'm going to do is right click in the empty space. And now I've got options for player start. Yeah, I'll show you. So one more time, just going to minimize it, select and make sure our player start is highlighted. I'm going to go back to the blueprint, right click, and I'll be able to create a reference to player start. And so remember what that does is it allows us to gain information from that player start. So what we want to find is the location. So I'm going to drag a pin from player start. And I'm going to type in transform. If I can type, yeah. And I want to get the actor's transform. And the transform contains all the information about the location and the rotation and the scale of that actor. So here's our value here. I'm going to drag that pin. You can see it's orange. I'm going to drag it to my spawn transform, which is also orange. Now I'm going to compile my code. And I'll just run it real quick. Ooh, I'm in space. You guys remember what we're missing? What did we need last class? What did we need before we could actually move Juno around, before we could actually control her? Do you remember that possess? The possess node? We have to actually assign our player controller to the player character. So I'm going to right click here. I'm going to type get player controller. So you can get some information from that. There is, yeah. If you go up to edit and then editor preferences. Oh, yeah. And it's under, where did it go? Loading and saving. You can turn that off. Okay, were we able to get that player controller node? All right, once we've got that node, we're going to drag a pin out of that node and let it go. We're going to type in possess. We're going to choose the first one called possess. Creates a little node here. And this is going to, we're going to connect up the pin here so that it fires that. And our value, return value here from spawning Juno is going to go into the in pawn. So we're basically telling it that the pawn that we're spawning, we want the player controller to possess that. Now if we compile and play, I now have full control over Juno. Can I move right and left? Okay.
I'm underground.
Yeah, we're gonna, oh, okay. We're gonna, sorry?
Are we supposed to be able to like?
Okay, okay. So we'll do the movement part. Are they still at that one part? What they can do is, if you just go to, All right, I'm just going to comment this really quick. Remember, you select everything and hit C to create a comment. So I'll just say spawn Juno. Yeah, just hit C on the keyboard. C key. All right, so some people are saying they can't get Juno to move right now. So let's go through that movement thing again. So I'm going to just minimize my level blueprint. Gonna head over to the content browser. Good.
Yeah, there's one guy who builds these characters like T-pose, but he's got like the blueprint right. Is that do for the gray shirt red glasses? Want to check on him in a minute?
Okay, yeah, I'll take a look. So we're gonna go to the content browser. We want to go to blueprints. We want to go to characters. And inside here, we want to open up quest character. I'll just kill this so I can show you guys again. Quest character. And underneath where it says looking mouse, we're going to add in some movement. So to get information for the input from the player, I'm going to type in input axis move forward. Okay, that's the first one. Input axis move forward. I'm going to find the other one, bless you. The one for left and right is called input axis move right. So I'll get both of those. So this lets us know whenever they move forward or back or left and right, these are going to fire. So then we can add code to that. So for the move forward one, I'm going to drag a pin off of that. I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to go add movement. And we'll choose this function here, add movement input. Okay, and we're going to need two of these. So I'm going to select the one that we created. I'm going to Control C and Control V that. So now we have a second one, and I'm going to link up the move right to that add movement input. Okay, so now we need to do a few more things. It needs a little bit more information before we can actually move. This axis value, this green pin, we want to connect it to scale value on here, the other green pin. And those green pins, they indicate that it's a float value, just so you know. So we connected those together. And now we need to know the direction. So that was the last step that we did yesterday. We need to get some information from Juno. So we're going to get rotate where is it? Get control rotation is the one we're looking for. So you can type that in if you want. Get control rotation. Almost there. So we've got this rotator, but we need to get a couple of vectors because that's what these guys are looking for. They're looking for yellows. They're looking for vectors. So we're going to find first, we're going to drag from the get control rotation. We're going to drag here. We're going to say get forward. We get the option to get the forward vector. Okay, and now we have a yellow. So now we can connect those yellows together. And then finally we need to get the left and right. So we're going to drag off of this again and say get right. And we'll get right vector. And then we'll connect the yellow to this guy. Okay, so I'm just going to move this and I'm going to comment it. So select it all, hit C, and just going to type in movement. Make sure you compile that. And then we can hit save here because this is actually a separate file from your map. I'm going to save that. Okay, and you can close quest character now. You can hit the X on that. And now if we go into the map, oops, too many. Go to Battle for Valor here, and then hit play. We should have Juno moving around. Okay, let's make sure everyone's at that point. Not at that point. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so you guys are responding. Okay,
I'm just thinking like super.
okay, so let's get rid of this.
The temple run, yeah. It's the style. Okay.
And we're gonna begin play. So this guy.
So,
It's like you're getting to that's what happens when you I know. Your shoulder
Didn't you just say that? Oh, that was wild. I was gonna get my kind of 30 needs to be that's a fun line.
But you're slow to you're slow to her. You saved it for her.
So you're
That's the same time.
Okay, I'll leave it here.
At least it doesn't send your exit Yeah, that way. Break down the door.
So before you start, whenever you click something, you get a reference. Now we'll reference to
Look at how big the internet is compared to this.
Maybe
Yeah, hoping, with that,
Your character wants you like this.
Oh my god.
Where did they pick the back
Bang. No, like I saw this thing and I thought it was I was just like, I have one and it's like,
You're like going right towards like that.
Yeah. This is crazy.
No, and how could that even fit through that? Yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work there. Yeah. Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! How do you believe that? Lighting needs to be refilled.
Okay. You can go now. Just delete these monsters.
Is that Undertale? I know my sound effect.
Otherwise, you're good to go.
These guys don't have to know if they're starting. Right? Yeah. Laptops also. Drag off the
Okay. Yeah, like I don't know when we do references.
Oh yeah, you did the head. Yeah, we did that. You can see. Oh yeah, it does. Oh god. Yeah.
Oh, there.
That's up close. Oh my god. It's already a small recording. This look different. Oh my god.
Oh my god, yes. Get it back on the left. Oh my god. That is so awesome. Okay. Oh my god. Lots. Whereas, yeah, we can start with oh my god, China's the boss.
You play it You can't.
Oh, wait.
I'm gonna play it for the maid.
Oh, wait, I gotta ask.
Scary.
Yeah, defense, play.
Oh my god. Dude, this is oh my god. Dude, I'm floating. Yo, oh my god.
You can't do it, right?
Oh my god, it's so good.
Okay, guys, we're running low on time here, so what we're gonna have to do is, if your build is still not working, you might have to share with the person beside you for now, okay? Because we got to get moving through this. You're playing as the boss? Awesome. Okay. At least some people are getting some stuff out of this. Okay. So what we want to do, first of all, is get out of this room, and we want to get into the arena. Okay, and the way that we do that is we need to trigger this door to open. And we're going to do that by creating a trigger volume. I don't know if you guys working in Unity, have you used trigger volumes before?
It's like when you run into like a box.
Basically, yeah, and then something will happen. Yeah. So we have the same kind of thing in Unreal. So what you want to do is you want to go up to modes, your modes tab here. It might be on the other side of the screen. And we want to type in the search bar, trigger. We're going to grab this bottom one called trigger volume. We're going to left click that and drag it into the world. And you see we'll get this green box. Oh, okay. Sure. You can drop it down and then you can move it. And we want to move it in a way where the player can't miss it when they walk up to the stairs here, okay? So Juno can't jump, so we don't have to worry about her jumping up. But in a game with jump, you'd have to worry about that as well. So why don't we just to make sure, we're going to extend this box on the y-axis to cover this whole area, okay? Were you guys able to get that? Oh, so okay, so go up to modes, type in trigger in the search. You're gonna drag that trigger volume into the world. Select the trigger volume, and then down in the details here, we can change the X, Y, and Z size of the box. So what I've done is I've extended the Y so that it covers this whole area. Okay. Now we want to keep the trigger box selected because we're going to do that whole thing with using it as a reference. We're going to go back to our Battle for Valor blueprint. What we're going to do is we're going to right click in the space below here. And instead of just creating a reference for trigger volume, we can actually add an event for trigger volume. So just like our other events that we were doing, like begin play or the input, we can create one for this specific volume. What I'm going to create is a collision event. And I'm going to go on actor begin overlap. Okay, so what I did is I right clicked in the space here, add event for trigger volume 1, collision, and then add on actor begin overlap. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. So what this means is we have this square that Juno can walk inside of, that the player character can walk inside of, and as soon as it walks inside, this event is going to fire off as soon as she overlaps with it. Okay? So now we can add code to that. So what we want to do is we want to reference the door, because that's what we're trying to open here. So I'm going to go back into the world and select the door. Make sure it's highlighted. Back to my blueprint. I'm going to create a reference to the door. So again, that's right click, create a reference to quest dungeon door. Okay, select the door, and then in the blueprint, right click, and near the top, create a reference to quest dungeon door. So this door is more than just a model. It has a lot of scripts attached to it as well. So what we're going to do is pull a pin off of the quest dungeon door. And we want to get access to a function that's on there. And that function is trigger hit. Okay? And inside that node is a lot of functionality, but one of the things it does is when a trigger gets hit, it opens up the door. Okay? All we need to do is connect together our event and our function. Okay, so I just connected those pins. I'm going to compile. And I'm going to play. And let's see if this works. So when I hit that trigger, the door's open. and I can get out into the arena. My door closed again, and it opens.
Biggest cheese ever.
Okay, I'll just go back. Wait, what?
Oh my god. I think
Okay. Well, we'll give you some time to get to that point.
Okay, I'm gonna try
How do you call it in here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's right? No, it's actually you use these numbers here. If you want to know why, then you can just type it in. But I was just probably 800. Yeah. No, it's across the okay. Yeah. Is that trouble? I'm just really curious. Is there a way to like trade not? They don't have that set up. So I would do that.
It's getting like really bad FPS. There's not really a way to get
We can't really fix it. They'll just have to look off of someone else. That's the only way we can do it. There's too many tech issues that are slowing us down.
Yeah.
So
And then I guess that was the break bell.
yeah.
So do you want to just open up if once they leave? Do you want to just keep movement open up? Because I know there's a few people who don't.
People need to get it. Okay. Yeah.
What software was used to model all the characters? Oh, the characters within the audio. Usually they go to program for doing something like this
You can also use Blender, but people don't use that as much, really. It's all about Maya. Yeah. Oh.
up to that one is the
Janelle. Sorry, folks, I'm going to turn on the lights here for a minute. Some of my grade 12 students are going to come in here and get their files off of the newer Dells, okay? Because they need to get their After Effects stuff. I have your devoted to the carrier of your.
Now we want to go back in and just lock the door.
Oh, I don't think it's bad size.
Hey, dude. Nice.
Look at this.
I just stopped for somebody, and when they start in, she just goes right and doesn't stop. I don't know, dude. In my opinion, that might just be the keyboard being like bad. But
I'm wondering.
But so could it be that like fun? Could it be something with like the possess? I guess I'll go look at that. But
Maybe check the possess, but honestly, if that keeps happening, just don't use the movement right, because
you can
they
rotate.
can't strafe, but at least they can rotate the camera and they'll be able to move.
Oh, you watch it?
There's an easy way. If you just want to hit F11, it does the full screen.
Try to get rid of that. Oh no, it's not there. Oh, they have it.
Checks.
So we figured out a way. Yeah, we figured out a way to play as the
Someone likes to download all the characters. And it's the same effects. And it's only attached to I could have gotten that. It's the one request. I'm going to attempt to request. Yeah, no, I'm just saying. If I had it's the same price.
You can get rid of them.
Really?
Yeah.
No. This women's one. Okay. Oh, it's not bad.
Hey, how'd it go, guys?
It's going okay. There's tech issues with the computers, but I think we're at the point where we can just keep rolling.
I've been going fast to check my class on now, so. But I think everything, when I left, everything seemed okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what did you make? What did you do? What did you do? You played with the velocity? Oh, you played with the boss. A lot of running around.
Yeah, man. Thanks for
changing things up.
doing all this.
Just sometimes when you gotta be like,
Right. Yeah, it's getting that way.
thank you. Is it the end of the break?
I guess so.
You
How's it going? Okay.
We'll see. I break everything back. I think.
Yep. Okay.
Do you maybe want to start off by being like, is anyone else still stuck? Or do you want to keep?
I think we gotta move because we're too far. I'll probably cut one section from it.
Maybe just open it up with like, about the tech issues, but like.
Yeah.
You're so tiny. Oh, never mind. Oh my
Okay, guys, we'll get going in a sec here. Okay, I think we'll get going again here. Yay. So we're able to get in our arena. Oh, I just wanted to mention if people are still having tech issues, some of the computers are running on different processors, so some of them are kind of slow. If you're still having issues, I would recommend just partner up with someone that's got a computer that's running okay, and we'll keep going from there. But okay, so we've been able to create trigger volumes. and this opens up a lot of options for us. What we want to do for our game here is to create some enemies. Okay, so let's go with that. So I'm going to go to my level blueprint. Oh, there's one important aspect to show you here. You'll notice if I go to my trigger to open the door, and then I pass through the trigger again, I close the door. Keep opening and closing it.
Will we have a test behind us?
We will. But for right now, the issue here is we don't want this to happen. Obviously, we could have issues with bugs where a player would get trapped in a loop there. So what we need to do is introduce one other node. And this is one of our logic nodes, and what it's called is the do once node. So I'm going to type in do once. And that creates one of these gray nodes. And these gray ones control the flow of our code. So these are things like for loops, some of these do loops here, if statements, okay? So all of that are the gray nodes. So if those aren't connected, connect them up. So from this pin to completed. And all that's going to do for us is it'll just have that trigger hit code happen once, and then we won't have to worry about it happening again, okay? So now, oops. Now if I play, door opens, and I don't have to worry about it shutting again, okay? We'll be able to control that ourselves. Okay? Connect this back up. Oops. The do once node also has an option to reset that, so we can actually open that up again. If for instance we wanted to, if the player dies and we want to have them respawn and then that trigger work again, we can use that reset pin to reset it. But we won't have to in this situation. Okay, so I'm just going to move this down a bit, comment it, open arena door. Okay, let's trigger some enemies. We want to play, we want to fight. So we've been able to open the door. Let's get some enemies going here. So what I want to do is when Juno walks into the arena, we'll spawn the first wave of enemies, okay? So what we need first is another trigger volume. Okay, we could use that old trigger volume, but what that'll do is by the time she gets into the arena, they'll already be there, which sometimes you'll want, but in this case, we're going to do this a little differently, okay? So I created a new trigger volume. I want to place it here. Yeah, if you guys might have a trigger volume still sitting there, you can use that one if you want. Okay, I'm going to extend this on the Y a little bit, just to make sure that the player can't sneak in here without touching the trigger volume. Okay. Now I'm going to keep it highlighted like we did last time. I'm going to go back to the blueprint. I am going to create some new code below this one. I'm going to right click, add event, collision, on actor begin overlap. Okay, we've got that. Now what we need to do is get some enemies. So we've actually got an easy way to do that with a custom object we've created. So if you go to your content browser, and we're going to go to blueprints, and then to ingredients. So blueprints, ingredients, and you want to find the quest AI spawner. Okay, we're just going to highlight it. Highlight it in yellow. We're going to go back to our map. And where am I going to put a guy? Let's put one right in the center. I'm going to put my mouse where I want that quest AI spawner to be. I'm going to right click, and that'll open up a little menu. And in the middle, there should be place actor quest AI spawner. And I will choose that. Okay, it creates a little dinosaur head for us. Everybody make your dinosaur noise. Perfect. Okay. So this needs a little bit of information before it works. If you go down to its details panel, there's a couple options we need to pick from here. First thing is the character to spawn. Right now it's set to none. So what I want to do is open that drop-down list. And for me, I'm just going to create a skeleton archer. Yeah. Oops.
Extra content.
Let's get the zoom back. Ouch.
Unenhanced.
Unenhanced.
Hey, there we go.
Looking good? So that's over here in the details panel. Okay, so you can create anyone you want. I would avoid the Skeleton King for now. He needs some extra loving before he can work. But I created a little skeleton archer. You guys can create what you want. Oh yeah, rotating, that's important. So if you remember, once you have him highlighted, he'll have this little widget with arrows. If you press spacebar, that switches to the rotate widget. So then we can rotate him to whatever facing we want. Okay. Okay. Somebody said the word save, which of course makes me think we need to save the map because things are about to crash. It's just the way things work. So let's hit our save button up at the top here. I have an okay computer. Okay, so we should have one enemy. Sorry, let me help you out. So just place one enemy and rotate it to the direction you want to face.
Oh, we're all I saved Oh yeah, so delete this now. Yeah. I'm gonna leave this out. I'm gonna make like a book. I would be the first to design. Oh, perfect. Okay, so where are we at? Oh, I want Because I came over. Yes, I was listening to that Oh, I'm just about to show you guys the guys. Oh, this is funny. That is so cool. It's like skeleton stuff. Oh my god. Oh, it's an area type of thing. Oh my god, oh, I killed him! Oh my god, this is so cool! This one fell on the ground. Yeah, it's this is so cool!
And then we want to pick what kind of character.
Yo! You killed.
Sure, that'll work. Okay, so let's drag this up on the blue a little bit.
Oh, this one's doing some stealthy thing.
Right there. You can hit space bar that lets you rotate. So you can rotate it around.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe something else.
Position you want.
It's not frustrating character.
No, it's in the ingredients folder and then you use an AI. So
I need king.
So we got our enemy in there, guys. All right, right now he's set to spawn as soon as we play. We don't want that. We want to trigger it. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, we haven't gotten any further than that.
Oh, I died! Oh my god.
So what we want to do is we want to spawn this guy when the player goes through that trigger, okay? So what we need to do is change on his options here, the spawn type. We want to set that to script. Okay? So spawn type set to script. Now I'm going to go back to my blueprint. I'm going to make sure he's still highlighted. I'm going to go back to my blueprint. I'm going to right click and I'm going to create a reference to that Quest AI spawner. So the red one is for our second trigger volume. So we did that by doing, we select the trigger, right click, add event for trigger volume, collision, actor begin overlap. Okay, so we've got our event for the trigger volume and we have our spawner. Now we need to create a function that will actually spawn the AI. So what I will do is drag a pin off of the AI, let it go. I'm going to type in spawn. And we've got this option here, spawn AI. And we're going to link these up. We'll compile that. Let's try it out. Make sure it's working. Oh. Just right here, I drag off of our reference to the AI spawner, and then I type in spawn AI. Connect those up. Yeah, only one will spawn so far. All right, and he comes out of the ground, and we can fight. Dun, dun, dun. This guy's deadly. Woo. Oh, the backstab. Oh, look at that. Every time I go through it.
Oh, someone using this computer?
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh god. Oh, I feel like double.
All right. So we know why that is, right? It's because we don't have our do once node.
Awesome. Awesome.
We need our do once node, guys. So we're going to add that in. So what you can do, you want to drag off the trigger volume. We're going to drop that and do once. And compile that. So now the enemy is just going to spawn once. Okay. Yeah, it's not quite as fun, but we'll at least we'll be able to control how many get spawned. Okay. So do once. I'm not going to show you what happens now. You know how that works. So what if we want multiple enemies, right? What we could do is copy and paste all this stuff and do like 10 spawn AI nodes. But that's kind of inefficient. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to place a couple more enemies. Copy this, paste. Or alt drag, that works too. Created some more enemies. Maybe I'll make these guys different. I'll make them a couple of archers.
Okay, so you into enemies now?
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty good. So when Brian.
We still have some time. Oh, we're almost.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did less than 45 minutes. Hour.
Okay. So we'll be alright.
That's a good pace.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we got a couple more enemies here. Okay. So I'm going to select one of those new enemies. I'm going to right click and create a reference to him. Then I'm going to go to the third one. I'm going to create a reference for him. So now I've got each of my spawners selected here. So what we need to do is create an array for these three spawners. You guys used arrays? Yeah? Some yes, some no. So an array is just a collection of a type of variable, okay? And that variable could be any kind of object in the game. Okay, so we're just creating a set of whatever this object happens to be. And in this case, we're going to make Quest AI spawners. Okay, it's really easy to do in Unreal. All you need to do is drag off of this Quest AI spawner pin, drop here, and I'm going to type in make array. And it creates this little node. And this little node takes a bunch of inputs and then outputs them as an array. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to add a few pins here, right? Because we need 3 of them. So I'm going to add 1, add 2. And I will connect these other guys here. Okay, so that whole thing again, let me just show you. Drag from the Quest AI spawner, make array. I'm going to add 2 pins. 1, 2. And then connect these guys here. Okay. So we've created an array of 3 AI spawners. Now what we want to do is we want to spawn the AI for all 3 of those. So actually I'm going to disconnect this pin here, and you can do that by holding Alt and then click. We'll disconnect a wire. So what I need to do is to cycle through this array, and every time I cycle through, it's going to pick a different AI spawner to go into this spawn node. I do that by dragging off the array, dropping into space, and I'm going to type in for each. So this is a for loop. Have you guys used for loops in Unity? You guys haven't got there? Okay. So a for loop is a loop of code. It's going to loop through whatever code is connected to this loop body. Okay. And it's going to do that for a certain amount of times, and that certain amount is indicated by our array here. So if we have 3 things going in, it's going to do it 3 times. If I added 7 more, it would go through it 10 times. Okay. So let's connect this guy into our logic flow here. We're going to go into the exec here, and then from loop body, it's going to go to spawn AI. And now we want to tell it what we're spawning. We're going to use the array element. So it's going to loop through this once, and it's going to say array element 1 spawn. It's going to go through it again, array element 2 spawn. Go through it again, array element 3 spawn. Okay. So that's how we can loop a bunch of code when we have a ton of different objects we want to spawn. All right, so let's try it out. I'm going to compile, go into my map, do a little save. Now when I play, once I hit the trigger, all 3 of them spawn. Okay. All right, we're sort of starting to get a game going here. One issue is I'm fighting with these guys and I have no idea what my health is. I can take a guess. Okay, I'm going to clean this code up a little bit. Select it and comment it. Spawn wave 1. There's something like that. So what we need is our heads up display. We need our actual health bar to show up. So if we want to do that, we're going to go back up to our code for spawning Juno. We're going to add in some code to the end here. So if you want, you can move your comment box. You can change the size of it just by going to the edge. We can move it a little larger. We're going to add some code after our possess node. So I'm going to drag off of possess. I'm going to type in widget. Because in Unreal, any kind of heads-up display, any kind of menus, they're known as widgets. They're UMG widgets, Unreal menu generation widgets. Okay. So I am in our level blueprint. Oh, sorry, we're in spawning Juno. We're at the very top. Yeah, we're gonna do create widget. You create the widget. Now, similar to spawning Juno, we need to tell it what we want to create. So I'm going to open this drop down and I'm going to go to in-game HUD. It was just the in-game HUD, in-game HUD. Okay, so I've added that. There's one more step though. We need to connect it to the viewport for the player. Okay, it's one extra step that's required. So I'm going to drag off of the back of the widget creation. I'm going to add another node. I'm going to type in view port. And I'm going to choose this function, add to viewport. And we need to tell it what to add. So we're going to connect up this return value from creating our widget to the target. Okay, did you see what I added there? I add to viewport node, and then I connected up the two lines, the two wires. I'm going to compile. And then when I play, I got my hearts. Got all my hearts. And I got some gold. Oh yeah, so you need to, there's that one pin you need to connect here, this guy. Yeah, as long as that's connected, it'll be good. It's okay. There's lots. We're going through lots of stuff here.
I was thinking of a tug of war, like screaming in his face. Oh! I'm gonna do it over the shoulder.
Oh, sure. You guys got your menu, or you got your heads-up display? Uh-oh. So after possess, we created our widget. Make sure it's the in-game HUD. And then we did an add to viewport. Connect up the lines.
I'm getting an error in instruction, that thing right there. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just gonna save again.
Important note, guys, the resolution might hide the hearts on you. So if you hit play, you can actually tell it to open it in its own window. Try doing that to go see the hearts. So that's the resolution.
Yeah, if you want to do it in its own window, go to play and go to this down arrow, and you want to choose new editor window. And that'll put it in its own window, okay? Oh, this guy's tough.
Very good.
I'm hurting. Ow. All right. Uh-oh.
What's happening with the place? Okay. So this is okay, so I think you have a different color here. So if you delete that, you guys are connected to it yet. That's okay. Let's exit that. Wait, This is jumping animation.
I don't know how I did that.
Look, wow. We already know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to log this. I was making the art to see that. Yeah, block made the thing back. I did it back.
But it can't.
But this swing is so slow.
Oh my God. I just turned everything over.
That helps teaching so taking damage whenever that's so dumb.
I turned everything into a wire.
You made I think it's like for everything. So you're hitting I'm turning it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we don't have to up it yet. Yeah, I'm gonna try and look at one.
There's no law there. Exactly.
Yeah, they're there.
So we don't calm down. Stop this guy.
So it was just like,
He's trying to play it.
now let's try.
I'm gonna have spots, guys.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah, but you need a car.
But
You need this what? This thing, take 3. That's what I'm trying
you like flying around.
So I have a chance. Should have kept myself here.
Enemies map. So.
See what I mean?
I like having that.
Just go for guns.
It was like,
Yeah.
You can hold right click.
Like that. Watch it smell.
Sorry, somebody
Let's explore things here. Yeah.
So we've created one wave of enemies, but that's not really a full game. It's not that exciting. So what we should kind of do here is create several waves of enemies, okay? Because it's kind of an arena battle game. So we'll create some waves, and those waves will get more difficult as we progress, okay? So the main issue here is, how do we know when wave 1 is defeated? That's the information we need before we can spawn our second wave. Well, the way that we're going to do that is using a counter. We're going to count how many times enemies have been defeated, and when it reaches the count of our wave, that means we've defeated all those enemies. Okay. So what I want you to do is, if you look over in the left-hand panel, there should be variables, and inside there, you're either going to have a variable. Does everyone have a variable called defeat counter? Okay. We're going to use that one. We're going to left-click on it and drag it into our blueprint editor. We're going to choose get. There's two options there. There's get and set. Get just gives us the number. Set allows us to change that number. Okay. So again, I went defeat counter, dragged it in, and then chose get. So our defeat counter starts at 0. It's got this kind of teal color that indicates that it's an integer. Okay, you guys know integers? Yeah? It's a number that doesn't have any decimal places, okay? So what we want to do is, first of all, we need to get an event. We got to know when when each of our characters dies. We need to know so that we can update that counter. Okay. So what I want to do is, from these spawned AIs, we need some information. So I'm going to go from spawned character. I'm going to drag a pin out. And we're going to do something called binding an event. What that means is, inside our spawned characters, there are custom made events, such as when they take damage, when they die, when they move. All of these events are tied into that character. What we need to do is bind an event in our level graph or level blueprint to that event in the character. So when the character dies, that event will fire, and it'll fire an event on our level blueprint. So we do that by typing in assign, and then on, I think it's called, we don't want to assign on destroyed. Oh yeah, assign on character died is what it's called. Died. Okay. That's the node we're looking for, assign on character died. When I choose this, it's going to create two nodes. There is our bind node, and then there is our brand new event that is created. And this new event is going to be tied to when the character dies. Okay. So we want to give it a name. Right now it's asking us for a name. So we're going to say skeleton died, and then hit enter. Okay. If you accidentally clicked outside of the node before you added a name, if you just double click on the name, you can rename it again. Okay. So just to recap, that's what I did. I dragged a pin off of this spawn character node, and then I typed in assign on character died. And that created this new event. So every time one of our characters dies, this red node is going to fire an event. I'm just going to drag it over here, because I'm going to use that to start this new line of code. It's just easier for figuring out what's happening. Oh, one important thing, you'll notice these aren't connected yet. So we need to make sure they're connected. Okay. So these two should be connected. All right, let's continue with our counter. So when a skeleton dies, what do we need to do? We need to check to see if the defeat counter is higher than the number of enemies in our wave. Okay. So we do that. We're gonna drag a pin off of our defeat counter. We're gonna let it go. We're gonna type in compare, and it'll come up with our one option: compare int, and that's compare integer. So let's drop that guy in. Okay, and this has a bunch of different options on it. First, we'll just connect it up. Okay, and it's asking for two different integers. The first one is our input. So this is what our defeat counter connects to, and it's going to check to see if this, and it's going to compare it against this number here. Now we could have a separate variable to plug in there, but we're not. We're just going to type it in. So if you just go over to this type in box, I'm going to type in the number of enemies in my wave. And that's going to vary depending on what you guys did. So if you put 3, like I did, that's going to be a 3. Okay. You guys get that okay? So we do the compare int, connect that in, and then we type in the number of enemies in our first wave. Okay, now what's going to happen if we run this right now? Can you guys sort of figure out how nothing's going to happen, right? Why is nothing going to happen? Exactly. We haven't added anything there. And the other thing is our defeat counter is it's always staying at 0. Okay? We actually need to make that value go up every time we defeat one of these skeletons, okay? So we're going to drag another pin out of defeat counter. We're going to just drop that into space here. And you can do one of two things. You can type in ++, or you can type in increment int. And this increment, all it does is it adds 1. Every time it gets fired, it adds 1 to our defeat counter. That's what we want. So I'm going to connect this into our logic flow here. So I'm going to drag this to here. And then I'm going to drag this to here. Okay? And now just to make sure, I want to make sure that when this defeat counter is incremented, that the input is the newest version of that defeat counter. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to get rid of this wire here. So I'm going to hold Alt and click on it. And then I'm going to grab the output from this ++ here and connect it to the input. Okay? So you want to have something that looks like this. All right. So that's good. Now what we want to do is tell it to spawn a second wave. Okay, first of all, we need a second wave, so why don't we create that? We're going to go back to our level. We're going to add some more spawners. Okay, what I can do is I can just copy and paste these ones. Okay, or Alt and drag. That's another way to do it. Yeah. You can do the same wave again if you want, yeah.
Could we do that by
You could do the reset pin, or you can just duplicate all of this code and put it into wave 2. That would work as well. But we want these waves to get progressively harder, so we're going to add in some different guys here. Swordsmen are pretty good. Grunts are pretty good. That's a good question. I don't know why they named them grunt. They grunt a lot. Yeah, I guess. They're pretty dumb compared to the swordsmen. So I'm gonna do a couple of grunts and a couple of archers. Oops. This will be an archer. And another archer. Okay. So I've added those in. I'm just going to save. Oh, it's saving for me. Yep. Yeah.
We have it for yeah, actually, all of that. All. Stop. The only thing is the red. Yeah. Well, so you could do it for equal, and that was fine. But we could have some kind of bug happen where something gets higher, so there's a component just in case.
This is the first round.
He says that
Is there?
okay. It's gonna have to set up so it's gonna start a new code.
I forgot to show him. He's like spawning the guys with the.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really I think just wait. Some majors are yeah, just wait. That's following.
Okay, so we placed a new set of enemies. Okay, we placed our new set. let's highlight them. So you can select it, and then you can hold Control and select multiple. So I'm going to select my new wave. I'm going to go into my blueprint. I'm going to right click. Why isn't that working? Call function, no. They usually don't. So I'm getting a lot of options here. The one that I want is sort of halfway down this list. Create references to 4 selected actors. Okay, so you can actually type that in. Yeah, it depends on how many you have selected, for sure. Okay, that. So create references to however many selected actors. Okay, so I'm going to drop that in.
Is this for spawning the second wave?
Yeah, this is for that second wave.
Alright, I'm already done.
Okay. So once again, we're going to create an array for these guys. I'm going to drag off. I'm going to type make array. Oops. And I'm going to add 3 pins to this. Connect up. No, that wasn't us. I've created too many pins, so I can actually right click and I can remove array element pin if you add too many. Okay. Are we, is it about to end? Is it at 11:30? 11:45. Okay.
So they're making enemies or destroying each other?
Yeah, totally.
You guys saying like you guys in your
Okay, we've made an array for our second set of enemies. Now, if we want to make this a little faster, what we can do is just grab our old code. We're going to grab the do once. We can drag across, actually, do once, get the for each loop, and get the spawn AI. We'll get those 3. We're going to copy. And then just above our new array, we're going to paste. Okay, and now we want to connect our new array up to the array pin on the for each loop. Okay, and then we have one issue here. We have no event to connect this to because we're not triggering it using the trigger volume. So we need to connect an event to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new custom event, and this is something you can do whenever you want in Unreal. All I'm going to do is I'm going to right click in the empty space. I'm going to type in create, or no, sorry, I'm going to type in custom, and I'm going to do add custom event. It's going to create a new red node that I can add a name to, and we're going to call this spawn wave 2. So I was right click, type in custom, and choose the add custom event node. And then I named it spawn wave 2. So I'm going to connect that up to my do once. And this is our new event. So I'm going to actually comment this. And I'm going to say wave 2. And now we just need to trigger this event to happen. And we can do that easily. We're going to go off of our compare int, off of our equals equals sign. We're going to drag off of there. And I'm going to type in the name of my custom event, spawn wave 2. And all that does is it says, okay, fire that event. And so with our logic here, it's pretty simple. There's a good chance, there's no real chances here for a bug to happen, but just in case our defeat counter gets higher than 3, we're gonna plug both of these in, just to make sure there's no issues. Okay. Okay, and I'm just going to comment this code too. You can go C, and I'm going to go wave 1, check. Okay, did that work for you guys? Is that all there? After which, after the do once, you get the for each loop.
This is a lot of possibility. You do this all the time.
So after they compare the int for the death and skeleton,
Oh,
they
yeah.
cut it off and they go spawn with 2, but that's just
So that's what they've done. What you do is create a custom event, and then we're just calling the custom
okay,
event.
so you just right click anywhere custom event.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So just right click here, make it custom
So just to step through what's going to happen here. So every time one of our enemies dies, we're going to go and do this check. And the check is going to add 1 to our defeat counter, and then it's going to say, oh, is the defeat counter greater than the amount of enemies in our wave? And then once that is true, we're going to spawn wave 2. Okay? Yeah, question? This guy? You have to create that. So you got to right click and type in custom and choose add custom event. Yeah, they're pretty basic.
We have to face them.
I wish we didn't have to do us.
Okay, were you guys able to get to wave 2? Did it work? Trying? Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Wow, that was
Good way to go.
Where's my way?
Whoa.
Not here.
Here comes wave 2. No. You didn't get wave 2? Uh-oh. So, yeah, it'll come from where you placed them. So you can see I've placed wave 1 here, and then wave 2 are the yellow ones here.
You guys wave two or just wave one?
No, wait, one.
You make it too hard so you can't get wave two. Chase it. Half a heart. Some energy.
Not right.
It's coming into the building, it's following you.
I wish we just had
Projectile weapon from that book and arrow.
Having trouble with
A
it?
lot of people are still having trouble with spawning wave 2. Do you just drag off? You need both of them to go into spawn wave 2? Up here?
Yeah.
So
So this is saying fire this off. So you need that.
So what's, I don't actually know. What's the difference between these two symbols here and those two guys?
So this is saying if it's equal to 3, do this, and this is saying if it's higher than 3,
Greater
do
than or
that.
equal to.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been telling them to drag off of greater than. That's why it's not working for them. So
Yeah, that might be. That might be. Yeah.
So, do you want to just like rally everyone? Because I think there's like 4 or 5 people.
Sure. So let's just double check one thing here. And just make this simple, I'm just gonna erase this one. So with the compare int, you want it to be the equal to sign. Okay,
Yeah.
the two double equals. Connect that up to the spawn wave 2.
I might have told a few of you to do the top one, but it's the middle
Yeah,
one.
yeah, it works.
You can also have both of them go into it, but you need the middle one at least. So essentially what it is it's the middle one is equal and the top one is greater than. So you want it to be equal to the number or greater than the number just in case, but you need equal. So use the middle one. That should fix it.
I don't even know what's going on.
I'll get second try.
Okay, so I know how many cities. You say we have a heart. Okay, good luck. Oh, where's it going? The range guys like to run away. I think that guy. What am
How did you know you're getting?
He just bouncing back
So if you're done this and you feel comfortable with it, you can try to make a third wave. You can do that on your own. We can help you out.
How much time we got?
10 more minutes.
Not bad for today.
Yeah.
The waves.
I didn't hit everything, but it's okay.
Oh, hey, what's up?
You'd be bad at MMOs.
Why can't you?
Oh, it's not bad. Let's see, let's see. This is what spawn wave 2 is going to do. It's sort of like so let's go.
Oh, yeah, it would.
Oh, you're striking so good.
What I'd like to do
Well, I'll try to find it. I know you're
like it's like the logic is set up.
It's one last thing to do. We have one last thing to do. I totally forgot about it. Can you guys remember? We didn't shut our door. We need to shut the door. Let's shut the door. So what I want to do is when we spawn that first wave, I want to close the door. So I'm going to open up this wave a little bit. I'm going to drag this over a bit so we have some space. Okay, so this is for shutting the door. One last thing, and then we're good for the day. I'm going to drag off of here. Oh, no, I'm not going to drag out there. I'm going to create a reference to my door again. So remember how we did that? We go into the map and we select it. I'm going to go into the blueprint. I'm going to right click, create a reference to the quest dungeon door. I'm going to put that in here. We're going to drag a pin off of that. And we're going to type in close door. Really simple. And I want to add that into the logic here. I'm going to drag in here and drag in. Oh, but we want it after the do once, don't we? Because we don't want it to happen again. I don't think anything would happen, but for properly, yeah, to do it properly, we should. So we'll connect here. Close door. We'll go after the do once. And there we go. Yeah, it's a little messy, right? So let's get this over here. Get it a little cleaner. We'll drop these down a bit. And bring them over this way. Some cool things you can do is if the lines are getting kind of in the way of each other, if you just go to a line and double click, you'll create a new point on here that we can then adjust to create different shapes.
Probably another minute.
Create one here. Okay, so let's just a quick wrap up. Let's just go over what we covered. Oops, that's the wrong one. So we covered using trigger volumes today. Creating the blueprint we're going to do tomorrow, I think. we were able to use for loops to repeat our scripts. Okay, so that's an important concept. And we'll do some playtesting probably tomorrow as well. So using those for loops and the trigger volumes was the main stuff covered today. Next time, it's gonna be a little bit of a surprise what we're gonna add next. Some people might have an idea already. Skeleton King. And we will. We're going to add some polish to our game. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for suffering through some of those technical issues.
All right, it's been
Do what we can.
Great, you guys. Good job.
Thanks, guys.
If you have the dells, the skinnier dells, or the dells with the black, okay, if it's all black, what I need you guys to do is after you save your file, close it, and you're gonna bring it into Mr. Leduc's room with the charger. So make sure it's plugged in. Bring that along, and you're gonna bring it to the other room. If you're staying for the afternoon, so I think Lansdowne and Ramsey, the afternoon activity will be here. So if you go for lunch, you can eat your lunch in here. The room will be open just for you guys, but it'll be here 1 o'clock. We'll do the afternoon session in here. All right. Any grade 9s, you're more than welcome
No couch.
to come back.
I guess there might be one in the back.
For grade 9s. So you guys can come back. If you guys want to come back, more than welcome to. All right. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. So again, if you have the all black keyboard, the skinnier Dells, okay, please bring the power bar and bring it to across the hallway, 2 hands.
Still a star.
They're building a game there.
Nobody was like not getting it. You know what I mean? Everyone was like, oh, I Sorry. Do you have any AI problems? Definitely like it's like a full game.
I got this.
Yeah, right?
But then I went back to spawn.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm gonna go.